My dad's dad, my granddad, he had the pigeons. My nanny used to say he cared more about the pigeons than he did anything else or anybody else. And then it kind of skipped a generation. I'm not sure if a couple of my dad's brothers, I don't think any of them did. I'm not quite sure. My dad's Archie and I'm close to my Uncle Norm as well. We're all close, our family, to be fair, you know that yourself. But yeah, I think it skipped a generation. And then just one night, I think my old lady found a street pigeon battered through the weather, what we had. And that was a bad year actually, that. All the roofs blew off the houses and all sorts, we had to move house. Anyway, before that, my mum found a street pigeon, so she brought it up on the way home from bingo, as normal. And she put it on the veranda in the old masonettes in Ancoats here. So I looked after it for a while and I got it a bit stronger and I bought some barley from the shop, and then we used to I ended up going down an old place in Tib Street in Manchester, a fella called Bob Groves. All the pigeon men used to go there, and the Polish fellas used to sell the pigeons outside his shop as well. And I've gone off the story, but I'll go back onto it. So the Polish guys used to come sit outside his shop on a Saturday morning and round by Shoedill, and they'd all have the pigeon baskets, and we'd pigeon mad, a few of my mates, and we'd go and buy one for whatever it was, £2.50, and they'd say, let it out next week and it'll come back to you. Anyway, we'd let the pigeon out and it had gone. So by the time we'd go back down to the Polish fellas the week after, down Shoedill or Tib Street, Bob Groves's, and the same pigeon what you bought would be back in his basket again. I'd say, that's my pigeon, what I bought last week. No, different pigeon. So he'd have to buy the same pigeon back again and again and again and again. Anyway, getting back onto how I started with them, my mum found the street pigeon battered up, so we put it on the veranda and put it in a little cage and stuff. So, cut a long story short, when it got strong enough, it started coming back to me. So we let it flew off one day, and the following day I was only about, what was I, about 13, 14 or something like that. And then a day later, we heard tap tap on the veranda door, and it was the pigeon pecking on the window. So I said to my mum and my dad, oh, the pigeon's back. So that was it then. I had an homing pigeon, but it was a street pigeon. Anyway, like I said, we had it for a few weeks, and I was going on holiday with my mates, parents and that. And when I come back, the pigeon had flew away. Now, I don't know if it was my mum got rid of it or my dad, because there was shit all over the veranda. But yeah, it had gone. So my dad said, I'll tell you what, I'll get you some racing pigeons, because I was gutted that my pigeon had gone, and I had the bug then. I knew I did, you know what I mean? So my dad said, I'll get you some proper racing pigeons. So I went to see him, my dad's Alfie Wright, Buck Wright used to call him, part of the old Quality Street mob. He might see this video, I hope he don't go mad at me, because he don't like all that claim to fame shit, but he was a real handy fella. He was a good mate of my family's. So Alf was a mustard at the pigeons at that time, and he was racing a system called Widowwood, and it's like a Belgium system where the cocks don't see the hens, and then on a Friday before you send the cocks to the race, you'd introduce the hens back into the pigeon loft, and the cocks would be going crazy, and then they'd go straight into the basket and straight to the race. And Alf used to win week in and week out. He was famous in the pigeon game. Alfie Wright was a famous man. Yeah, he had some cracking pigeons, to mention a few, Clapper and Twirler and Slimmen and Wild Eyes and stuff like that. Now, I was in awe when I went up to Alf's, and he'd give me some pigeons for free, where he could sell them for a few quid at that time. And that was me, mate. I was off with the pigeon game then. I was ready to go. Built a little, well, when I say built, I nicked an old wardrobe out of my nana's spare room and put them in that, and then from then on, just the lofts got bigger, the pigeons got bigger and better, and I started joining pigeon clubs and racing, and to be honest with you, I won from day one with the pigeons. I'm glad to say I'm still winning now as well. And that little this little lady here, I don't want to put the jinx on her, but she won't be far away tomorrow. Little Belgian pigeon she is. She's always been there or thereabouts this season, so let's see how she goes, but you can put a bit of pressure on him when I say that, so you might not see it again.
Well, tell us about tomorrow, Steve, and what's the whole process?
Yeah, so tomorrow, sorry Chris, we're racing from Bath tomorrow. I think it's about 140 odd miles, something like that. I'm not quite sure what it is. We used to race from Mangots Field but they've changed it because I think there's a rugby thing going on where the pitch where the wagon normally lets them go from, so they've moved up a few miles. So yeah, we're going to go to the pigeon club tonight about 6 o'clock. I'm going to basket my pigeons, obviously what you see here, put them in my baskets, take them up to the club and enter them to the race, and the wagon will put all the baskets on the wagon later on. The wagon driver will take the pigeons down to Bath tonight, or however he does it. If it's a short race, I think he leaves Saturday morning. If he's a bit further out, I think he might go down there tonight, camp on his wagon, and get ready to liberate them in the morning. The secretary will phone us and tell us the birds have been liberated. We'll have a rough idea how long it's going to take, because tomorrow it's a south wind, and anything with south in it actually blows the pigeons home. Where if it's a north, it's on the nose, so it's a lot of slower race. So tomorrow it's a south wind, so we should have a fair race. So we'll know what time the birds are being liberated tomorrow, and we'll work out how fast they're going to go, and then we'll have a rough idea what time they're going to get home. And then after the birds are home, we'll take the clock back up to the club. The secretary will plug them all into his computer, and we'll find out who wins the race. And hopefully it'll be me or my daughter Danielle. Yeah. That's them all basketed now. We're off to the club. Put these in the van now. Go round and get our Danielle's. Put them in the van and we'll be off to the club. You look well then, boys. You look well. There's your winners. There's your winners. Go on the boys. These 5 have been separated from the ends all week. Yeah. Normally I'd show the ends now before I send them to the race, but I'm not going to do that this week. I'm just going to send them without them seeing the ends. Next week they'll see the ends an hour before they go to the race. So let's see how we go. Come on.
Ancoats is a big pigeon country by the looks of it.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, there's a few lads around here. Adam, a couple of them have jacked in now. John Hughes, John Gurns. These are all my pals as well. John Hughes, John Gurns, Kenny Forth, Jimmy Spade, great flyer. My daughter's across the road. These are all in a couple of 100 yards away from me. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. And then you've got my other pals across the way over in Salford. John Crean, Les Green, all great flyers. Ray Lunt, Daddy Wall. Yeah, there's a lot of fanciers around here still. They say it's a dying game, but these type of lads will be into pigeons till the day they fucking drop. No matter how many pigeons are being sent or how much you say the pigeon game's dying out, these lads will have them forever. So we'll always be able to compete. They're my mates, but on the Saturday, I don't like them because I need to beat them, and they don't like me neither. We're off, mate. To the pigeon club we go. Let's get this show on the road, son.